Hello people, I've seen a lot of videos where people have blasters that are running too rich and they're not hitting power band, and they take off the airbox lid and it runs better, or it's running too lean and it tends to bog out, or the other way around, it bogs out from foul plugs from being too rich. Either way, it's because your bike's not tuned correctly. Now, I happen to have a Yamaha blaster to do this on. It'll work on any 4-stroke, any 2-stroke, whatever you got. It'll work on a dirt bike. It's just all the same. The reason why I'm doing it on this because it's easier to do it than on a Banshee. I'm going to make a tuning video for a Banshee because Banshees have dual carbs. They're harder to tune, but it's pretty much the same concept, just with 2 screwdrivers. So basically, here's my blaster. I found out that when I would start it up and hold out the choke, it would be pissing air from somewhere. It was from here because the guy drilled a hole and threaded a hole in the carb for an idle screw. So I took an idle screw out of another carburetor that I have, I popped it in here, and the idle screw actually works. So then I backed out the throttle up here, so now it has just some play, and I got it idling from there, which is good. So now after a rebuild, after you rejet your bike, what else can I say? And not after you rejet. After a rebuild, after you rejet, after you change an air filter, after you change an exhaust and rejet, after you change the exhaust and filter and rejet, whatever you do. Or when you just change a silencer, you don't have to rejet, but you do have to retune. Here's what I did. I had it tuned in for no air filter because I didn't have an air filter, just an airbox lid. The guy before me cut the whole back plastics, cut the airbox right out. So now just the airbox lid is what's holding it in from falling out now. I'm going to try to rig up something to hold it. Anyway, every bike, its stock setting to start from to start tuning is 1.5 turns on the air mixture screw. Here's 1.5 turns with a lot of you guys. This is just my throttle override system, don't worry. Alright, right now, you can see it's at 12 to 6 o'clock. Turn it one more to 12 and 6 o'clock, that's half a turn. Turn it one more 12 to 6 o'clock, that's one full turn. One more 12 to 6 o'clock, it'll stop. Some of them might be 3 to 9 o'clock, some of them might be 2 to 7, or 2 to 8, whatever it is. This is, mine happens to be 12 to 6. So I'm going to go back out, half, 1, 1.5. Now when you're tuning your bike, it works better when you have a high idle. Higher, not high. A lot of people don't understand what I'm saying. Back out the idle screw to the RPMs get higher and higher. A lot of people don't understand that. What you want to do is get your bike good and hot. Get it running, go for a ride up and down the driveway a few times, and get it warmed up. Then what you do is you start it up and put it to an idle like mine has. Here's the idle. It's smoking. It'll run fine right now because it's warmed up. Here's how you tune your bike. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to show you guys, you have to turn the air mixture screw both ways until the engine picks up RPMs. If you turn it to the right and the RPMs decrease, that means you're running rich enough. If you turn it to the left and it increases, that means you're starting to tune your bike. Here's what it is if you're running lean, if the bike has to be leaner and instead of richer. When you turn it to the right, the screw's gonna go in, making it richer. So I'm gonna show you guys what happens when you turn that screw in. I'm turning in half turn. RPM started to come down. Another half. Another half, it'll probably stall out. Or close to it. See how low my RPM went down just by turning the air mixture screw? That means my bike would be out of tune right now because the screw's all the way in. It's trying to run too rich. Now, as you can see, slowly, I'm going to back it back out to 1.5. It's going to get high. Once you back it out again, you're going to go half turn at a time. Once the RPM start to pick up, go quarter turn. Right now I'm going to do quarter turn to show you guys. Once you start backing it out further and further and the RPMs get higher, they're going to start decreasing eventually. That means you're going out of tune. You want to get it to where the RPM's the highest. I'll show you guys how to do that. I'm going to go way too lean till the RPMs decrease again. So here you go. Ready? Look. Half. 1. You want to give it a few seconds to pick up too. You can see it's already starting to pick up. 1.5. 2. 2.5. 3. 3.5. 4. Now my RPMs are coming back down, you see? Now, I'm going to stall. I just shut off the bike. Now, that's basically what happened if your bike's running too lean. Now, one of my friends, I forgot his YouTube name, he lives in Connecticut, has a blaster that if he took off the airbox lid, it ran better. So now I'm going to show you guys. My bike should be, I think, 2.5 turns out, which I might have to bump it up one size on the main jet so it'll run a bit richer, but we'll see. Now, I'm going to go back to 1.5. Half, 1, 1.5. Now, I'm going to show you guys what I mean. Once it gets higher, then you reset your idle and you're good to go. Right now, it's 1.5. 2. 2.25. 2.5. Too much. 2. 1.75. 1.5. 1.5 is where my bike runs pretty good. If I make it 3/4, it gets a bit higher. Make it half, it starts to go down. So I'm going to set mine in about 1 turn. And then what you do is you just set your idle and you're good. Now my blaster is in the redneck way of tuning your bike. I mean, the real way would be getting an air gauge or whatever you call it, vacuum gauge, and seeing which setting's the highest. Once your RPMs get as high as they can, that's when you know your bike's pretty much tuned in. Now my bikes will start first kick every time like it did. If the mixture screw was in all the way, you'd take 2 kicks, and if it was all the way out, it would take 3 kicks. Right now it starts first kick every time at this setting. That's the way it's got to be. Goodbye.